I'm not a Christmas guy. I don't enjoy it. It's always just too much for me to handle. But the most infectious line from a Christmas Carol ever is the line about bringing us figgy pudding. And it's always, when I was a kid, even, like, it just made me laugh. I just laughed out loud at that line all the time, and I think it's because Christmas carols tend to be either very religious or very polite, and that one line, bring us some figgy pudding and bring it right now, like, it seemed very like gregarious and demanding for a Christmas carol. So it just always kind of seemed out of place and just made me chuckle. So I was at the store the other day and I found some figs. I found half a pound of figs for $5 and I said, I'm gonna make some figgy pudding. What is figgy pudding? So figgy pudding is a dessert, sort of a fruit cake that is usually enjoyed in Britain, and we're gonna attempt as far as we can the figgy pudding. We want to take these stems off if they have stems intact. Just chop them. I'm probably going in eighths, in half again, turn it the other way, go in half. About half a pound of figs cut up in here, and this buttermilk that we made together a little while ago from that butter. I'm just going to go for 1 cup. And then we heat on low until the figs are nice and soft. During which time, cup of flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, about a half a tablespoon of baking powder. What else? There's a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of salt. Two eggs. And we're just going to beat them for a minute. Figs are nice and soft. I'm just going to spoon some of this liquid in here, get my eggs used to it. Once it's got a couple good spoonfuls, start putting the whole thing in. Once you got your figs in, you want a cup of breadcrumbs. Oh, exact. 6 tablespoons of melted butter. This recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of orange marmalade. I don't have orange marmalade, but I do have around 2 teaspoons of this fig jam from that cheese plate that I did. So to that, I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of mixed berry fruit spread. It smells like blackberries. About a half a tablespoon of vanilla extract, the zest of an orange. Change the paddle because we are now going to gradually add flour, or the flour mixture. Once you see that all of the ingredients are incorporated, stop. You don't want to build up too much gluten in a cake. Also, some of that butter that we made when we made that buttermilk. Just going to grease the sides of this bowl so that nothing sticks. And in goes our mix. And I did estimate right with this bowl. This is nice. In a lot of references to a figgy pudding or a Christmas pudding or something like that, it calls for it to be boiled. That doesn't mean quite boiled. That really means put in a hot water bath. Measure from the middle of your bowl out to the edge and snip. And when you unfold this, it should be all the way around. Alright, we'll take a little bit more butter. This is your chance to make this sort of even on top. Get that butter to stick to the sides. The secret, of course, being that water will never heat above 100 degrees Celsius. And so this is a way of cooking low and slow that will ensure our figgy pudding isn't going to dry out. However, it does take a little bit of time. I've seen British recipes go anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours. This is a little guy, so I'm really hoping that it doesn't take more than an hour and a half, 2 hours. So in this pot of simmering water, I have a few of these ring molds for just out making things round. You can put a little ramekin in there, you can put the tops of mason jars, anything to keep this directly off of the bottom. I think that might be too much water. Cover it up and set a timer. It's been about an hour and a half, and I've kept an eye on the water level here, always trying to keep it about halfway up the bowl. Keep some water on the boil, top it off. I've done that maybe 4 times. Now this has been a little bit puffed up for about 40-45 minutes. But I figured I'd keep going for the estimated time to give the inside to cook through. Oh my god, this smells amazing. That'll do. I don't think it needs to be absolutely clean because the inside is a little bit of a sticky, gooey mess. Oh! Alright. A Christmas pudding. But now, of course, we need to set it on fire. There we go. And that's bourbon. You can do this with cognac. You can do this with brandy. I wouldn't maybe do this with rum, too much sugar. Let's turn the lights back on and have some pudding. figgy pudding my whole life. I've never known, and it has always been my favorite. So let's see if it lives up to the myths and legends. It's just so moist and delicious. It's like biting into the middle of a pastry without having to go through all of the puff pastry. This is really good. It's not like cake at all. It's something very unique unto itself. Wow. Setting this en flambe really adds a nice sort of bittering quality to the outside of this pudding. I think otherwise it would just be sweet, and it's a very filling sweetness. There's a lot going on there, so I'm not going to get bored with it at all, and it's definitely a treat, definitely a once a year treat. So it looks great and it adds something, but if you can't do it, especially if you can't do it safely, you shouldn't do it. Can also do this in a bundt pan. I thought that guy was gone. I can't find any of the stuff I went to the store for. What did I go to the store for?